Hello everyone, welcome to Man United Bonafide. As you all know, this is your fan channel where we speak about everything Man United. Well, it's been a while since I did a video regarding football. Besides being busy doing one or two things, it's just been a bit crazy out here with the COVID situation, things being helter-skelter all over. Things coming to a standstill. Ideally, the world is on a standstill. It's like the world is on a Sabbath. Speaking in a religious sense, it seems like the world has just gone on a Sabbath. It's like God just decided want to give the world a rest from work and from school and from everything. Let people rest, and the people of the world are in such a situation where they find themselves in more like a rest or something. As we all know, the pandemic has hit the whole world. As a generation, we've almost never seen such a thing. Maybe the closest thing to this was the Second World War, you could say so, where the effects were seen in a global scale. And maybe the closest pandemic that might have affected the whole world might have been during the Spanish flu, I hear. But as a generation, we've not seen such a thing. It's our grandparents that experienced the World War. We did not experience the World War. We've experienced wars here and there. We've experienced states of emergency here and there. We've experienced hardship here and there, but not on a global scale like this one has brought. With this, it means that the economic world is crippled, the social world is crippled, academic world is crippled, the business world, the religious world, almost everything is crippled, and not even the sporting world has been left out. We see the Grand Prix being postponed or being cancelled. We've seen tennis matches being cancelled. We've seen Formula One races being cancelled. We've seen golf tournament being cancelled. It's just a mess in the sports world, and football has not been left behind. It's not been an easy time for football clubs, given that football is one of the sporting events that bring in the highest revenue from a good number of countries, especially the countries in Europe, and some maybe in Asia and parts of Africa. You can confidently say that football is one of those activities that bring in revenue, and so it's been a hard time for clubs and for countries with this pandemic. The pandemic has hit the whole world, and as we see, the numbers keep rising. As the world keeps getting shut down, most countries are going into a lockdown, and that means that football may not come back anytime soon. It was predicted that by the end by the mid of April, it should come back, but that may not even happen as soon as we thought, and some are speaking about towards the end of April. Some are even pushing it even towards the end of June. The prediction that nobody is sure when football will be back. We find ourselves in this state, and so that is what has inspired the topic today, whether or not the football season should be abandoned. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section what you think, and let's keep the discussions going, because football is a game that we all love, and we would all want to see football. Maybe we all miss seeing football on our television or in our stadiums. We still miss that, but as human beings, we are also caught in this, whether we should be, if this pandemic continues, how do we sort out the football issue? I've seen a number of articles here and there, a number of videos being made about abandoning, and great footballers speaking their mind, legends speaking about their mind regarding the football season. Like Rio Ferdinand was speaking about abandoning the season. Jamie Carragher was against abandoning the football season. Everyone seemed to have their opinion regarding this, and so you're also allowed to share your opinion. It's only opinions. It's not the final word here. We don't speak for clubs here. We speak for we're like the voice of the fans, but it's more of opinion. It's not a final say that this is what the world should go with. Now, what does the world stand to lose, or rather, let me speak about football. What does football stand to lose if the season gets abandoned? First of all, let's speak about the Premier League, which Man United is part of. What is the current situation in the Premier League? Liverpool are 25 points ahead. By the time the season was being suspended, they were arguably three games away from winning the league. But that is just one situation. Man City, this does not really affect Man City away a lot, because even if it is cancelled today, they are not in a position to win the league. Come to Leicester, they've been fighting for top 4, and they're in number 3, and there are high chances they could have gotten into the top 4, stayed in the top 4. Same to Chelsea, who are currently 4th in the standings, and are in a good position to finish top 4. And then there is Man United, there is Sheffield, there is Wolves, Tottenham, and I think Arsenal, who are also battling for top 4 in that regard. If we speak about abandoning the league, like let's say today we abandon the league is abandoned. Who are the losers? First of all, Liverpool will be the greatest losers, because they are in a pole position. They are 25 points ahead. They're in a good position to win the league, just 3 games away from winning the league, and with the games being abandoned, it means that their 30-year wait for a league title will have to be longer, which is in a human sense sounds unfair. So that's one situation. The other situation, if the league gets abandoned today, who else will lose? The other biggest loser will be Man United, because Man United are in 5th currently. Before the games ended, you are in a good run of form, where we were winning. We had won, I think, 11. 9 out of 11 games, I think, and we were 11 games unbeaten, and conceded, kept, I think, 8 clean sheets out of that. It was a great run of form. We were banging goals left, right, and center, and not conceding as many. For that reason, it means Man United will be at a loss if the season gets abandoned today. Because if the season gets abandoned today, it means that whatever has happened the whole of the season will be gone, and they must find a way of bringing in other mechanisms of deciding who goes to the Champions League, who stays in Europa League, and things like that. The other biggest losers might be Sheffield United. Sheffield are currently 6th, I think, 6th or 7th, they're 7th with a game in hand. Meaning, if they had won their game in hand, and at the other in the current standing, they would be 5th. You get. So those are the challenges with abandoning the league. In the top fight for top 4, it's a quagmire where the league finds itself, with Man United on one hand, Sheffield on the other hand, Chelsea also battling for it. Leicester were on a poor run of form, and everyone was thinking that Leicester might even drop out of the top 4. It was a possibility. And then if the league gets abandoned at the relegation level, if you look at the standings, Aston Villa have 25 points out of 28 games, while the rest of the league has played 29 games. That means the only way that means they had a game in hand, and they could argue that if they had won the game in hand, they would have gotten out of the relegation zone. And so those are some of the situations where such decisions are becoming hard. If the league also gets abandoned today, who gets promoted from and who gets relegated? How do you solve the relegation and the promotion situation? Because right now I think it's West Brom and Leeds who are in good position rather to climb to the Premier League, come back to the Premier League. Leeds will be coming back to the Premier League after an almost 20-year absence. They've waited for almost 20 years to come back to the league, and then the league gets abandoned. You see where it becomes tougher. You understand now how it's tough. Now, if the league gets abandoned, how do they solve the issues at hand? There's a proposal that they use the last season's results. If they use last season's results, it favors some and hurts some. Some like Arsenal, who are currently the 8th or 9th, I think, will be favored. It means they will have ended the season at fifth place. And if Man City's Champions League ban is withheld, it means that 5th place is promoted to Champions League spot, meaning Arsenal goes at the expense of everyone that has been fighting for that position, like Man United, like Sheffield, like Wolves, like Spurs even, who have been in a better position. Yeah. So if you use last season results, it means Liverpool also don't win the league. And it means that nobody gets relegated and nobody gets promoted. That is just the sad state of it. It means everything stays as it was, and that football in a football sense is not a very good way to go. Then there's the issue of the playoff. We can decide a winner by playoff. We still don't know how that will happen. Decide top 4 by playoffs. We also still don't know how that will happen. We also decide relegation by playoff and promotion by playoff. It's just chaotic. Then there's where you abandon okay, we've spoken about that. Then there's declaring a winner, which if you declare Liverpool the winner, the outright winner, giving them the league, one can still challenge that decision by saying, how do you give Liverpool the league yet they had not won it already? Mathematically, they've not won the league already. It's just a general feeling in the league that Liverpool are going to win, because they are 5 points ahead with only three wins away from winning the league. And so if you give Liverpool the league right now and say we've given Liverpool the league, the other ones can challenge and say no. If you're giving Liverpool the league, it means that the current standings keep fought as they keep hold as they are. It means Man United will finish 5th. And what about Sheffield? What about Aston Villa, who are fighting relegation? And does it mean Aston Villa gets relegated? And if Aston Villa gets relegated, how do you solve the game in hand situation? How do you solve the game in hand situation for Sheffield? It's just a situation where the world of football finds itself. And I know even in other leagues it could be worse. In other leagues, like now in Italy, where the league title was a 3-horse race between, I think, actually 4. I think Lazio, Juventus and Inter. I think there was a single gap between the 3. How do you declare the winner in such a situation? Yeah, at least in England, for the first position, we know Liverpool are ahead. Man City can still challenge and say no, mathematically they had not won the league. We would have still had a chance of catching up with them, even though the gap was that big. Having said that, the situation at hand might really box the world of football to a position where they must make the hard decision, and that tough decision would be to abandon the league. That is the toughest decision to make in the world of football right now, to abandon the league. And hopefully when this COVID situation is done with, we can resume and start a fresh season. But that can only happen if this thing, if COVID extends till let's say June or August, where it is impossible to restart a season without finishing the other one, then it might be prudent to abandon the league. But still, one can argue that instead of rushing, why not finish the few games that were left, because some of the leagues were left with about 8 to 9 games, which if it is for the league, you would say we play those few games and maybe forget the cup games. But then there's Champions League and Europa League. How do you declare the winner in such a state? And so it's confusion galore in the world of football. So the only way to abandon the league is if this COVID situation continues. But how do we help the football world not to get itself in a position where they have to abandon the league? It is by everyone being responsible. Avoid travels. I see people still traveling long distances from one town to another, one country to another, and I'm like, unless you're a medical doctor, you don't need to keep traveling. The other way of supporting the world of football is to keep our hygiene levels high. As we've been instructed, wash your hands, sanitize, avoid handshakes, avoid keep safe distances, social distances, keep your social distances clear, like 1 meter apart. Avoid overcrowded places. If you don't need to travel, if you don't need to move, stay at home for the sake of as you try to support the fight against COVID-19, which some countries have done well at, some countries are doing poorly at. We've seen on social media police chasing people around because some cannot stay at home, and even police and people even fighting back the police. It's just another situation where we keep getting confused as a humanity. So my opinion would be we wait and see how the COVID situation goes, because you never know. It might go down, it might go up. Only God knows how it will go. It might keep rising, it might keep going down, and we really pray. I really pray it goes down so that we are able to resume to normalcy. Of course, we will not go back to normalcy 100% as it used to be, but we'll be able to restore some level of normalcy. Football might be back, sports might be back, we might be able to go to work as normal as we used to be. And that's just it. Let me know what you think in the opinion in the comment section. Let me know what you think about whether the football world should rather the football season should be abandoned or not. Let me know your say. Let me know what you think. Let's keep the discussions on, and may the Lord keep you, may the Lord protect you wherever you are. Stay at home if you don't need to move around. Stay clean, sanitize, and keep washing your hands, and keep your hygiene levels well, keep to a good standard, and also keep safe social distances. Others from me, I'm Hansel Oyango from Man United Bonafide. Let's hope we can be able to do this more and more.